Thankfully, there wasn't any kind of weird miscommunication where we had some forfeits. We did have some forfeits today, but thankfully not too many of them. Thankfully, as we are getting into our next game, into our next fresh best of 3 series, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the American Protoss player living in the land of South Korea, representing Macherino Esports. It is Astrea. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have his opponent. We have the reigning world champion. We have the Chinese Terran player representing Dragon Kaizi Gaming, DKZ. It is Oliveira. And we are already spicing things up. Just a little bit of spice, you know, just a sprinkle of black pepper and of salt. We have a proxy Rax, only a singular proxy Rax, and it's a pseudo proxy Rax. It's still on Oliveira's half of the map. This is a little bit old school. I don't know if you recall, but in years past, it used to be very meta. It used to be very common in TvP for the Terran player to throw down their Rax either further back in their main, or at their natural, or at their triangular third, or at their linear third. Like, it was very common for the first Rax to just be thrown out there just for mind games, just to throw off and force a reaction out of their opponent, when really, like, there wasn't anything too crazy going on. Like, we have a Reaper is on the way, but it's rallied back home even just to clean up this probe. We can see Astrea going to be as annoying as possible with his worker as well, just tasing away at that SCV. And the probe should get eyes on the factory, and once it does, it should 100% recognize that, okay, it's not a dedicated proxy, it's not anything too crazy. It is only one Rax out on the map. And Astrea is setting up back at home, is going for the gate expand into the cyber core. Nothing too crazy out of Astrea, and again, because he probe scouted at least, and because he stuck around, he doesn't overreact, he doesn't lose much of anything. As this Reaper will get here a couple of seconds ahead of time, there is no shield battery, by the way, so boys have to be pulled. This Reaper is getting damage done. No probe kills yet, but a lot of lost mining time, so get some nice damage for Oliveira. But Astrea was able to micro back. He preserves his workers. He is going for a robo. Mate, he is all about the robo openers today. Let's go. Now, this is a little bit different in this matchup. Against Terran, with a robo opener, you can go into a very fast robotics bay. You can get into very fast Colossi. Less so disruptors. Colossus openers are a little bit more commonplace with robo openers like this. We can also throw down 2 more gates, make a prism, and go across the map and be hyper aggressive with gateway units, of course. We'll see. It's a very safe way, or a very greedy tech-wise way to play. There's some pros and cons. It's very defensive. Of course, because of this opener, you don't have an Oracle because you don't have a Stargate, so you can't be aggressive across the map. You don't have Blink either. Without Blink, likewise, you can't really be too aggressive across the map either. So you forego map control in favor of getting into Colossus production as quickly as possible. Now, I'm assuming that's going to be the case, but we'll see, because there we go. There's that robotic spade thrown down, so we are racing into those Colossi. This is going to shut down any kind of bio push. Looking at the vision here of Astrea, he did scout and confirm the 111. He also saw the CC, so he knows it's not a one base all in. He knows that Oliveira is expanding, or he is transitioning. As the drop comes in, and the Stalkers are here to swat the drop away. Widowmine is going to be... Oh, I love this. The Reaper is going to try and pull that Adept into the mine. Reaper does barely outrange that Adept as well. Observer has arrived, and yeah, Oliveira, he sees Observer, he backs off. He's going to give up that position. At the same time, the drop comes into the main. Astrea, he does see it ahead of time, but can he pull the boys off? No! He fought! Oh! Shots are going to be going off, and only 3. That could have been so much worse. Oh, my heart, Papi. I can't. When he surrounded that wind mine, I was like, that is not the play. There is not enough damage on that mine to pull that off. Thankfully, he wasn't punished for it too hard. 3 probes for 2 mines. I'm sure Astrea is content with that trade. Across the map, he dips into scouts, looking at the vision. Oh, as Astrea's observer does get sniped. He was unable to confirm too much else. He did see the tech lab, but this should be for, of course, we have the Raven. Tanks are in production as well. Oliveira's pushing out across the map with 2 tanks and a Raven. Quite a lot of pushing power here available for Oliveira. Obviously, these are vanilla Marines, so the Marines, their job isn't to do damage so much. It is just to protect these tanks, to get in range of the third base and to shut it down. But because of the fast robo, we already have Colossi, and we can already look to shut this down. We do force a siege. Oh, the Viking is going to zone away that Colossus. Oliveira going to rotate around, going to try and lay siege upon this third base. We have additional Colossi on the way. Stalkers as well. Still no Tech Lab. Tech Lab? Still no Twilight Council. Still no upgrades. Oh, that one Viking putting in a lot of work. Zoning away the Observer. Zoning away the Colossi. Oh, would you force a cancel? It looks like Oliveira, yeah, he's leapfrogging forward. He's getting within range of this third base. Astrea is going to try to hold on to it, but I don't think he has the numbers. He's going for a surround instead, which has been spotted. There's the cancel on the third. Astrea trying to catch some reinforcements. He does get a couple of Marines, which is nice, but he needs more. He's trying to catch these. He's trying to catch the Marines at least. Again, there is no stim. Force field is thrown down. The one Colossus. Oh, it looks like it barely doesn't fall. That was close though. That was a very close. The tank does siege on the high ground. Astrea gets punished for chasing that army up the ramp. As Oliveira rotates around to deny the other third base location. Containing Astrea to 2 bases for so long. Oliveira taking his own third behind this. Oliveira is getting so far ahead economically. But we have 3 Colossi, and Astrea is trying to catch this. He's trying to catch the army. Doesn't quite come across it. Oh, he's going to get a tank, which is a good pickup. Can he get more? It looks like he cannot. Oliveira is going to be able to boost away. If those 3 tanks were caught out, then that may have just been game. Oh no, we come back too soon. 3 probes go down. Meanwhile, at the same time, we're pushing up this ramp into tank fire. 1 Colossus gets targeted. But we get everything else. There's not enough to protect these tanks. And Astrea may have lost the third base, but he's looking to end the game. Oh, it looks like he's going to be forced back, though. He's running out of shield. He's going to catch some SCVs at least. Good amount of damage is being done. And we can try an elevator into the main. It's going to be difficult. Oh my god, the tank does get another shot off. That Colossus is 1 shot away from going down. Ay, ay, ay. Meanwhile, the Raven harass doesn't stop either. More lost mining time. Disruptors are arriving. Colossus regenerating their shields. The third CC does survive, but at least Astrea was able to force his opponents back off, give himself some breathing room to expand. As Oliveira waddles in. Uh-oh. Do we see? We do. It's gonna be close! Oof. As the probes do get the surround on the mine, they do bring it down. Meanwhile, another double drop is being sent out on the right-hand side. It looks like the Prism is going to miss it. But I believe Oliveira doesn't have eyes on the War Prism. Harass doesn't have eyes on the Disruptors. Never goes off! Oh, they do pull back. They do pull back in time. The main army in position as well. Still no blink. Drop is spotted. Do we have an answer? We have to recall back home instead. Slow lots are warped in. Oof. I love that Oliveira, he's taking advantage of the fact that Astrea just doesn't have a mobile army. Oof. As the Immortal gets targeted down. Very high value pick off there from Oliveira. Very nicely done. We already recalled as well that Prism. It's a very expensive Prism. He's gonna get the hell out of there. Let's be very careful with how he maneuvers. Charges on the way, and that will help Astrea when it comes to these engagements. Will definitely help out. See Oliveira just being forced back once again. Trying to muster up his army, muster up his forces. And he's got a pretty solid position here back at home. He's got 3 bases up and running. Concussive shell on the way, +1 defense as well. And he was able to preserve at least some of his tanks. He's up to 4 tanks. 6 Vikings and a Raven. Now, because the Raven survived, we have so much potential with disables. It means that 2 Colossi aren't enough. We actually I don't think we have enough splash damage to really fight this army. Especially with the amount of Vikings, especially with that disable. 4th base is going to be denied. Ooh, that's a kill, not a cancel on the 4th. Astrea a little bit slow to react. He is in quite a bit of trouble. We go for the anti-armor missile on the main army. We have a flanking Nova. It's an okay connection, but not what we're looking for. And it looks like Oliveira may just have too much. The Vikings doing so much here against these Colossi. The Colossi are barely holding on. The Disruptor sharking around, looking for a good connection. He's going to go for it, but alas, only gets 2 Marauders. And now we're going to try and collapse on this. We do have charges. Zelt's going to be closing the gap. Good target firing on the Colossus. Colossus go down instantly. And with the death of those Colossi, that may just be it. We don't have an answer toward the rest of this army. We still on forward. And Astrea's trying to fight back with these reinforcements. It's so close. Can he do it? Can he hold? He gets the tanks, but he doesn't get the Marines. He doesn't get the Marauders. Ooh. The man with gun is too strong, is too powerful. That was an expensive loss for Astrea. We can see here Astrea losing 7k. Oh my god, 7k minerals and almost 3k gas. Oh god. Oliveira trading so efficiently. And Astrea doesn't have the economy to really afford that. He's at least got his 4th up and running, only just now. Losing all of his high-tech units is going to take a long time to rebuild, a long time to reset. We're trying to dive on this. We get the ghost. Can we get the tank? It looks like we will. Up! No shot. The tank survives. The tank does survive. Aye. Zealot run by is doing what it can. A single Zealot wants to get involved. Astrea still on the back foot, still trying to really find his footing as Oliveira is even on bases, which is never something that you want to see. Aye. Again, the momentum is real. We can see Astrea still just sending out these run-bys, and hey, he's gonna find a little bit of damage. He's forcing Oliveira to turn back around, which is really what's important. As he does force back the Zealot run-by, and meanwhile back at home, a double drop diving into the main base. Astrea trying to keep up. But he's not quite in position. His army is just all over the place, and the Robo is going to get sniped. Oh my god, this double drop doing so much damage. And yeah, Astrea, he just can't keep up. Got a couple of Stalkers coming into the main. Oh, he overshoots his main army as well. The Overcharge is going to try to hold on, but the 4th base is going to go down. No Blink Stalkers with this army to chase down those medevacs, and Oliveira is running away with this. And what can Astrea do from this position? He's got a decent army. What I will say is that if we have a big fight, and if Astrea is able to catch his opponent in the middle of the map unsieged, then I do think Astrea can take a fight here. And likewise, he gets a ghost. Doesn't get the medevacs, but gets a ghost. We get a massive warping into the main base as well. SCVs are going down. We are distracting the main army at the same time. Astrea's looking to lay siege upon the third base of Oliveira. Ugh, the CC is lifted. The Zealots have to be careful to overextend. Mine shots are going to get baited out. No big connections on those Zealots. And in one swift move, Astrea, he takes down 18 SCVs. He doesn't lose too much of his main army. We have 2 disruptors being built as we speak. Astrea's coming back. He isn't back yet. Unfortunately, even though Astrea has had a pretty solid worker count, he's only just now mining from his 4th because it got sniped earlier. So Astrea's economy is a little bit deceiving. Even though he's ahead in workers, he hasn't been mining from 70 workers this entire time. Only just now. Meanwhile, we can see Oliveira catching up very quickly. Taking another base as we speak. Trying to go for a Zealot Ramai, but again, it's going to get shut down. Meanwhile, Astrea is double expanding, which I think is very necessary. I think he needs to come back into this game economically in a big way. The army has been spotted. Astrea getting in position. We're still on a very low disruptor count. We only have 4 disruptors with Astrea's main army. That is still not enough. Astrea still needs more time. And Oliveira doesn't want to give him that time. He really does not. As he's just forcing his way through. The Colossi being bullied back. No shield batteries here at this base. And the Nexus has to be just completely given up. Up! Oh, a massive Nova does go off. Another Nova only catches a couple of those Marauders, but another again. Oh my god. Getting the Ghosts, getting the Marauders. Is this enough? Is this enough to really turn the tide? Because Astrea is going for a massive counterattack. We have a double drop here on the right-hand side. Oliveira dives into the natural base, depowers the Robos. These disruptors will not see the light of day. It looks like Oliveira is catching the better end of this base trade. Getting so much done with so little, but the disruptors survived. The disruptors did survive. And that means that actually Astrea's main army is looking better than his opponents. Oh, but he's losing his main. He is losing his main base. Astrea's going to try to chase this down. Oh my god, we can just pick up and head towards that third. Astrea out of position. Wasn't able to catch this. The army is escaping. Oof. And Oliveira does have better mining. He's got his base on the right-hand side. He's got the center planetary as well. We've got 1.5 mining bases against the 1 mining base of Astrea. He does have a Nexus here on the top left-hand corner. So we actually have pretty comparable economies, which is pretty impressive. We do have comparable economies. What are the armies looking like? We've got 2 Ghosts. Not too many EMPs. Oliveira not quite in position to protect his planetary. Widowmine's going to be going off, but the planetary will fall. Oh, these disruptors are a little bit haphazard. They're going to be focused down. Not a single Nova connects. Astrea overextends. Astrea had so much potential with his army, but he was very trigger happy. He just wasn't ready with his disruptors, and they're going down one after the other. This was his lifeline. This was his way back into this game. It was the disruptor, and every single one goes down. Ay, ay, ay. He had the better army. Astrea, he could have pulled it off. He's got Immortals on the way. The Archons go down one after the other. There's almost nothing left here, and Oliveira has done it. He has broken on through. This army is heavily overstimmed, but it's still alive, and that is what matters. A lot of these Marines are going down, to be fair. There's a lot of potential with some friendly fire, for example, but the EMPs connect. The Immortals are being hunted down. Oof. The boys are being pulled. Is it enough? It's not. GG gets called. And Oliveira takes game number 1. Whew, in a very close game. GG. Oh my god. That went down to the wire. Again, if if Astrea hadn't overextended with his disruptors, if he had preserved them, if he was able to actually make use, he had like 5 or 6 disruptors with his main army towards the end there. He had so much potential with that. There's so much damage potential. But as we all know, disruptors are high risk, high reward. You're relying on not just your micro, but your opponent's micro as well. Oliveira did a great job at hunting them down, at focus firing those disruptors in the middle of that fight. And sniping them before they got any real shots off. So really well done there by Oliveira. Again, just a little bit of a miscontrol from Astrea. And now we're getting into game number 2. Now we're getting into the second game. Oh boy. And do we have any updates? Not yet. This, I believe, as well, this is our last series. This is our last series for this qualifier. If I'm not mistaken, once we wrap this up, the other qualifying matches are reliant on, the other lower bracket matches are reliant on the upper qualifying match finishing, and when that finishes, the mainstream is going to be following those lower bracket matches, and the players that get knocked down as well. So I believe this is going to be our last series. Oh, but to be fair, we've had a lot of really good games. We've had a lot of really solid matchups, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. I'm really happy that I was able to be here for Astrea versus Ragnarok. I was really happy that I was able to be here for Astrea versus DRG as well. Hope everyone in the chat has been enjoying themselves. Oh boy. As the NA Hope has been popping off tonight, has been doing so well. But is this where he meets his end? Here he is. In the bottom right-hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have the American Protoss player representing Maturino Esports down in this series, but not out. Not yet. It is Astrea. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have his opponent. We have the reigning world champion, the Chinese Terran representing Dragon KyZ Gaming. It is Oliveira. Here we go. It all comes down to this. Or, it doesn't all come down to this. We could still have an ace match, but the pressure is on Astrea. The pressure is on him to fight back, and my god, did he fight back in that last game. I thought he was dead early on, you know, after he lost all of his Colossi, after he lost his Disruptors, after his Robot army was reset. I assumed that things would snowball in favor of Oliveira, but then we saw Astrea just pull off a miracle with his harassment, with his Zealot harass, with his Zealot run-bys, with his pushes as well. He was able to claw his way back in, and now Astrea has a very interesting probe out on the map. This is looking like a proxy Stargate. A very brazen proxy location as well. So there are players like Hero, Classic as well. They very commonly go for proxy Stargates here in this matchup. Because of that, because this is such a common location, we try to pull it back a little bit further. We tried to go for a more hidden proxy Stargate location instead, but Astrea doesn't care. He's just putting it all on the line. As Cybercore finishes up, the tech is thrown down, and it is that Stargate. Okay, so this isn't all in. This is not all in. So let's just calm down. This is going to be for proxy oracles and adepts. The goal here is for your adepts, in conjunction with the oracles, they are able to outposition, they're able to get out of control, get into mineral lines, and do some economic damage. Meanwhile, Oliveira opening up very safe. He does go for a CC on the high ground. It is a double gas opener though, so a much faster factory, and going to be a much faster starport as well. So it was a Rax into factory into CC. So yeah, with this, he's going to be able to get into his drop play a lot faster. He's going to be able to be active with his Widow Mines as well. Zealots and Adepts do make it across the map. They confirm the positioning of the CC.
Your probes. Watch your mineral line.
Shout out to Astrea, as he's a bit of a diva enjoyer. Of course he is. God damn it. But he does get eyes on that CC, so he's fully aware that it was a bit of a later CC from his opponent. He's able to get one SCV. He's going to get a second SCV as well, putting a lot of damage on this reactor, forcing a big reaction out of Oliveira as well. So far, so good. As we pull the attention of Oliveira here to the ramp, we do send the Oracle into the main mineral line, but it goes down. Does friendly fire, but that was not quite worth it for Astrea. Second Oracle's on the way, and we can finish off these SCVs, but Oliveira is in position. It takes one shot to kill an Oracle. Here we go. The Oracle, it bypasses that Widowmine, dives into the main base as well. And do we force some more friendly fire? Up! Oh my god. Jesus. So we're trying to get some more SCV. I would dive in. I would dive in and force a friendly fire here into all those workers, but maybe that's just me. The proxy has been shut down, and it does feel like these Oracles haven't done enough damage. There's potential. Look at how softened up these workers are. Look at how weak they are. Ay, ay, ay. But alas, they survived. Only 4 SCVs go down for the price of an Oracle and a Stargate. Ooh. And an expensive loss. An expensive loss for Astrea. As he's able to bypass that Cyclone and he dives back in. Can he finish off these SCVs? They are still so softened up. The answer is no. Astrea doesn't go for it. At the same time, Oliveira is going to be catching the Adepts in the center of the map. This opener from Astrea just hasn't worked out for him. He's just bleeding out units left and right. Shield batteries on the way. We're trying to muster up a defense. We have 3 Stalkers to defend. We see Oliveira just rallying everything across the map. With 2 Cyclones, that's a lot of power. It's a lot of DPS. Astrea is in danger. Liberator rocks up as well. Oof. And Oliveira is just bullying his way forward. It's a kill on the shield battery. And we're going to be able to focus down the Liberator at least, but the Cyclones are still going ham, cleaning everything else up. Stalkers go down one after the other, and Oliveira is breaking into the main. Another lock-on. Oof. Good target firing out of Astrea. He does take down one of those Cyclones, but he has lost 12 probes. Oh. 12 workers have gone down, and alas, Astrea is gonna try to recover here. He runs into tanks. Oliveira has no chill, by the way. He just rallies his first tank across the map. He doesn't care. He wants to keep on pushing. Keeps the attention of Astrea here in the natural. At the same time, Liberator dives into the main base. There is nothing here to defend. Astrea does react. He should be able to minimize his losses. Only loses 1 probe. And things will settle down. Now, Oliveira has a massive lead. Oliveira has a massive economic lead. He still hasn't repaired his SCVs, by the way. That's how confident he is. That's how much he's just doesn't feel the need to waste resources repairing his workers, because, hey, a worker on 1 HP and a worker on full HP is the same as long as they don't die. So the efficiency here from Oliveira is insane. Feels workers, man. The Stalkers, they dive in, but they dive into tank fire. Oof. Once again, not ideal for our American Protoss. We have Liberator rocking up across the map, denying more mining time, killing more probes. Oof. Not like this. As Astrea, of course, he still has a standing army, and he's still doing what he can to just pick off whatever he can here in the center of the map. But pushing into these tanks is going to be nigh impossible, and when the tank push arrives, I I don't think Astrea can defend against it. I mean, he's going to have charge by the time that happens, at least. We'll see. We'll see if he's able to make a miracle happen. We see a scan into the main, just making sure there's no, like, DTs. Confirms with Temple Archives. And here it is. This is the move out. This is the push that is supposed to end the game. Astrea's going to try and slow it down. He's going to try and pick off whatever he can. If he can get a medevac, if he can get a tank, that'll be amazing. He's looking for them. He's looking for some of these units. Again, he cannot afford to lose a Stalker. So far, hasn't lost anything. The blinks have been good. Oof. Once again, preserves every single one of his units. Does, you know, force a stim and does pick away at the army itself. Yeah, he's going to be forced to recall. Tanks are arriving. Charge is done in time. We got 3 zealots. Hey, that's going to tank a tank shot. At least one. As Astrea is trying to hold on desperately. Walks into tank fire. He dives onto the tanks. Does catch some of them on siege, to be fair. But the brings a stim on 4. They annihilate the army. GG gets called, and Oliveira will take the series 2-0, advancing on to a qualifying match. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations. Congratulations to Oliveira as he does advance on to that qualifying match. My condolences to Astrea. He did so well in Game 1. Game 1 was so damn close, despite the rocky start, despite the fact that Astrea was in quite a bit of trouble. Despite that, Oliveira does really well for himself and was able to take that game, but it was very back and forth and very close. Game 2 was a lot more brutal. Let's be real. Game 2, Astrea, he gambled. He committed for the he went for the proxy Stargate. He went for the Adept harass. If you remember, the Adepts were killed in the middle of the map. If you remember, the Oracles got like two SCVs. They didn't get a lot of damage done. They were shut down in the prime of their lives. And with how hard Oliveira shut down the opener, he just had such a solid lead. He had so much momentum. And with that, he was so decisive as well. Oliveira just pushing out across the map, moving out with those cyclones, snowballing with the tanks as well, just squeezing out as much value as he could, recognizing how vulnerable Astrea was, and he never let go of that lead. GG, well played. Congratulations to Oliveira. Again, shout out to Astrea. He may not be able to qualify for the event, he may not make it through, but he should be proud of himself because it wasn't an easy road. Astrea, just winding it all back. Astrea, he took down his teammate Future 2-1. He 2-0'd Ragnarok and he 2-0'd DRG. Like, clearly Astrea's versus Zerg, his PvZ is on point. It is looking very powerful, very strong. Can go toe-to-toe with a lot of these Korean Zerg players. Oh, but against the world champ, it's a bit of a different story. And to be fair, it is the world champion, right? It is Oliveira. He is one of the best players in the world, so no shame in dropping a series to him. No shame at all. You know, I hope Astrea isn't taking this loss too hard. I hope he is proud of his performance. I know I am, and I'm sure people in the chat are as well. GG, well played. Oh, congratulations. Meanwhile, it looks like the upper qualifying match has concluded as well as we switch our scenes over to the bracket. And we do have a bit of a gander. Let's bring us down a little bit. Here we go. So the upper qualifying match has concluded. Classic takes down Gumiho 2-1. So the 2 qualified players are Maru and Classic. Congratulations to both Maru and Classic for making it into the main event. Meanwhile, we have 1 qualifying match left. Our focus is here in the lower bracket. Oliveira is going to be waiting for a little bit for his next opponent. Bjorn versus Creator into Gumiho into Oliveira. Now, if I'm not mistaken. I believe Beyond versus Creator are currently mid-series. They are currently mid-series. They are still playing out their matches. And because of that, we could maybe try to squeeze into like game 2 or game 3. I'm pretty sure they're at least in game 2 right now, so maybe game 3 if there is one. Otherwise, it would just be jumping into Gumiho versus his next opponent. From my understanding, the main stream is going to be covering these matches. They're going to be covering, they're going to be following Beyond and Creator into Gumiho into Oliveira, and we have a choice. We have a choice. I'm being notified by the shout out to the lovely admins as well. If we want to, we can actually stick around and we can cover these series. It would mean that both English streams are covering the same matches, which is less than ideal. But I do also have to think about the bigger... It's a tough choice. It's a tough choice because I have another cast in a couple of hours. I'm going to be casting World Team League. WTL, World Team League is in 3 hours, and I'm going to be solo casting as well. Which is going to be brutal. So I do have to put that into consideration. It's tempting. It's tempting to cast some more StarCraft. It really is. But I think we're going to end things here. I think we're gonna top it off here for now. I know there are still potentially 2 more best of 3s left, and they're really juicy. But I haven't had breakfast. It is 7 p.m. here in Australia, and I've yet to eat. I did wake up at noon, to be fair. I did wake up at noon. But I do have to eat. I would love to have a shower as well. I'd love to be prepared for World Team League, which is another cast that we have in a couple of hours. So I'm going to leave you in the hands of the Matcherino casters. They will have you covered with those last matches. I'll just let the admins know. And I will get a link for you as well. Let me just quickly double check so I can send you guys over to the mainstream where they got you covered for the remaining players. They'll take care of you. They'll take care of you. Can I get a link? Can I get a link? It looks like I can. Bam, there we go. All right, so if you're watching on Africa, of course you would be watching on Africa. The link is in the Twitch chat. The link is there if you do want to check out the main stream. Again, they've got you covered with Beyond versus Creator. They are currently mid-series. I have confirmation that they are mid-series, and you will be able to catch the tail end of that. So they got you covered there. Meanwhile, I'm going to be heading off for a couple of hours. Going to be going for a bit of a break. Going to be getting some food, getting some water, having a shower, getting ready for World Team League. World Team League, WTL. This is the last week of the round robin stage of WTL. So these upcoming days are very, very important. So yeah, if you enjoyed my casting, and if you want more of my casting, then I've got you covered in WTL. We will be casting that on Twitch, not on Africa. Our channel here isn't the most active. We basically only cast on Africa whenever there are Africa exclusive events like the GSL qualifiers or Africa Champions Cup as well. So we're not the most active here, but of course, be sure to follow us here for whenever we do go live. We will be casting the global qualifier for this tournament. There is a global qualifier soon TM. I think it's tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check. So if you prefer watching on Africa, our next cast on this channel is tomorrow in 24 hours. 24 hours from now, we're going to be covering the global qualifier for the Africa Champions Cup. So we got you covered. We got you covered. Otherwise, if you're willing to follow us, into a different platform, into Twitch, then we're going to be live on Twitch in 3 hours with World Team League, with WTL. So We got you covered there for some more StarCraft. If you are unsatiated and if you want some more, then we got you. We got you. Otherwise, tomorrow we're going to be live with our own tournament, the Tenacious Turtle Tussle. We're going to be live with the Africa Champions Cup, WTL as well. Plenty of StarCraft is upon us, so yeah, check it out. Check it out. Check it out whenever you can. Oh, shout out to Kronos in the chat. Ah. The real Korean. Get that. With that, thank you so much everyone for watching. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to follow the CranKy Ducklings, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, all the social medias, all things CranKy Ducklings if you are interested. I think some of that is linked over on our profile on Africa if you want to follow us there. Otherwise you can follow myself. I do stream over on Twitch whenever I can. Over at light_VIP, I do stream my ladder sessions and some Diablo as well, if you're interested. Also, if you want to support the CranKy Ducklings, if you like what we do, and if you want to help us out, then consider checking out our Patreon. We have a Patreon down there, and we have our goals as well. Our goal is to hit 300 USD a month, and that would cover all of our expenses for the tournaments that we host. Otherwise, it's just we're spending that out of our own pocket at the moment. We are investing quite a bit here to run our events, and we're doing what we can. Our events are regional events for smaller regions like North America, Latin America, Oceania, and Southeast Asia. So yeah, that's kind of where all the Patreon money goes. So again, if you want to support us, you can do so there. Otherwise, subscribe on Twitch, and we have donation links as well. There you go. But yeah, other than that, thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. Again, check out the Matcherino Africa channel if you want to follow the rest of those matches. And we'll see you guys in a couple of hours for some World Team League. See you guys soon. Outside of that, thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye. Bye.